All right. So, what is Riverside? Riverside is basically what it is basically becoming is an all-in-one platform for your podcasting, your editing, your recording, your live streaming, newsletter, podcast hosting, and podcast website, all in one kind of platform. Think of it if you ever have heard of Substack. Substack is pretty much the same thing where you can host your podcast, you can have your newsletter, your website. I believe you can also record your podcast on Substack as well. It's been a while since I've viewed what they were able to do over on Substack, but that's the gist of it. Is that Riverside is starting to branch out into these other markets where previously, not even a year or two ago, it was kind of unheard of. So, yeah, a lot of companies are getting into the point where trying to branch out into many different fields where normally they were not uh, focused on previously. It's kind of like um, what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none kind of scenario. That's my take on what has been going on here with Riverside. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's something that you kind of have to figure out on your own. For myself, it is a issue that do I continue to use Riverside? Because this is what I'm using right now to record and live stream this the dialed in show right now. So it's kind of like, do I keep using it? I'll get to the pricing and everything in a little bit, but it's it's something that you have to think of as either a maker or a creator. Your kind of um, purpose of creating content online, whether if you want to create recording a episode of a podcast, or if you want to create a podcast and you want something that is a little bit easier, you don't have to worry about if your computer is able to handle the the ability of recording a podcast and such like that. So it is something that you have to pretty much put in the forefront of what you're going to be doing and what is best for not only for your content but also for your budget as well. So let's actually look into the pricing, because that is a major factor for a lot of things, especially in these days. Pricing is something that you really have to be conscious of. So on the website, we're going into pricing, and I'm going to switch it over to monthly. Now you do, to get started, you can set up or get started with like a free trial that is a 14-day free trial, just to see how it is for 2 weeks, to see, go through his paces and if it's a right fit for you or if it's not. So you have a couple of pricing tiers. The cheapest one is at $30 a month. I know it's 29, but it's okay. Let's say $29 a month for the pro level. That gets you up to recording of up to 4K video, no watermark, the teleprompter for a host. You get the unlimited text-based editing, AI editing and repurposing agent, magic audio, eye contact, unlimited transcriptions, silence removal, and filler words removal. You also get hosting of podcast hosting and analytics. You also get published to YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Instagram, LinkedIn, and more. What is the more? That is one click. Basically, what it is one click sends your episode or video to every platform where your audience lives. Published directly to YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or other podcast directories. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, X Twitter, WhatsApp, and Telegram from one place. So you do get a lot for your money. Now, this does not include the live streaming aspect of if you wanted to do that. It's just recording, that's all. Which I know some people look at it and be, hey, that's perfectly fine. I don't want to do live streaming. I hate it. I don't want to do it. So the next one up is basically the Grow plan. Is another $10 on top of what you get at $39 or $40 a month, and that includes everything that you previously heard in the Pro plan. But you also get the social media scheduling, the newsletter. I'm sorry, you didn't get newsletter in the first one. So you get the newsletter option, podcast hosting for 2 shows, while the Pro plan only has for 1. Video hosting, so which that means is that you can host any video on Riverside and embed it anywhere. Your website, blog, landing page, your content, your brand, no third-party player. So if you don't want the fact of, if you want a video that you have currently on YouTube and you want to embed it in, let's say, your website or your blog, what's going to happen is when people get to the end of your video, YouTube automatically puts in like the recommended videos. It's like 3 recommended videos that automatically show up. And most of the time, the majority of the time, those videos are going to be recommending to other channels away from your content. So this is kind of making it a place to embed your videos, embed hosting for your videos, to say, hey, I want to have my video hosted on Riverside so I can embed it into my blog, and then I don't have to worry about the YouTube embed recommending videos to other channels or any of the other nonsense. It's kind of a neat feature, and it's similar to what you'll get from a company called Bunny CDN or Bunny.net. They deal with a lot of CDN, taking care of your CDN or content delivery network. You can also do object storage, a whole bunch of other stuff that if you don't know what word salad I've been always spouting, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. So in continuing, you also get, full HD 1080p live streaming, multi-stream to unlimited destinations. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and SharePlay currently, and the Riverside as well. You also get custom RTMP to stream to custom platforms. What that is that you can stream to any platform using a RTMP URL and a stream key. That's how I am streaming to SharePlay currently right now. And if I had a Omcast server, I can add that as well. You also have the ability for Omni Chat. So you get the chat from other platforms like Twitch and YouTube. You do not get it from RTMP sources because unfortunately, it's just, a technological barrier. I'm not really too well versed with the limitations on that, but it doesn't happen. It's only for like the platforms that you're logged into that you can get the chat from. You can also do live call-ins. What is that? Is basically you can have live call-ins enable an audience member to participate in the live stream while also being recorded. So let's say you have a live stream. Let's just say for this particular live stream, you have a caller or somebody who wants to call in and say, hey, I have particular knowledge on this subject. Can I come on and, provide my insight? And you say, sure, come on in. And you can bring him in as a guest into your live stream. So you can also do live stream chat. That's what I have going. You can do custom studio overlays and lower thirds, and you can do backstage speaker management, so you can hide or show participants. And the next tier up really isn't geared for like podcasters like myself or people, just regular makers and creators. This is more for enterprise or nonprofits or anything like that, it gives a little bit more. So you can have up to 3 studios. You can have um, 3 podcasts hosting. You can do host webinars for up to 100 registrants. So you can have like 100 guests on, or 100 people on your show. You can pre-record and stream this season as live, no time limits, unlimited sessions. You can get a lead capture tool. So this is basically for geared more to enterprise stuff like that. Yeah, it's been a busy day, or a busy week, I should say. But thankfully, I hope you have a nice 3-day week, because a lot of people are off on tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. I know some people are off for a 4-day weekend, which is nice. um, then you got the business. The business tier is kind of like everything. And it comes with a cost. Some estimates, some people had inquired into Riverside and said, "Well, how much is it?" And they've been given estimates of around like $400 a month. So business tier is geared to just enterprise, and unless you are somebody that is very wealthy and likes to get rid of money as whatever, sure, go ahead, have fun. So as you can see, there is a little bit of tier for pretty much everybody, and it's like I said, there isn't a free plan. They say there is a free plan if you go through the trial and you decide not to continue. It's kind of like, it doesn't really give you much of anything. So if you were looking for something like this for hosting of your podcast episodes, video hosting that you can do embeds on your website, blogs, or any other place that you control, it is probably a good idea to go through and do Riverside, because your value is dependent on what you're looking into of getting out from Riverside. I know that was a little confusing. So I was looking through, I have set myself up with the 14-day trial, and I did find a promo code on the internet that I don't know if it works there anymore. I was able to get the another 30 days of the service, so I decided to go ahead and spot for that. So I have 30 days plus another week. So I got 37 days to figure out if I'm going to be continuing to use Riverside or am I not. So what I'm looking at is that I can see this as worthwhile for hosting of videos. What I mean by that, so what it is very similar to what Riverside was offering, but Bunny provides, transcoding is for free. And if you need the transcribing, it's okay, because transcribing right now, I can do transcribing of my videos. Before Riverside, I was using Whisper transcription. It's like $10 a year. But here it's like a penny a minute. You do storage is 0.01 per gigabyte, and CDN is 0.005 a gigabit as a GB. And you can use this to embed your videos into the websites or blog posts or wherever you want to have your video embedded. And it's good, but what happens is that you have to think about, if your site becomes popular, then the cost of that CDN starts adding up, and same thing for transcoding. Well, transcoding is free, but it's just something that you have to think about depending on the cost of how many hits that particular page is getting per month. Is it worth it? But with Riverside, it's all included. They don't say that it is a per month. It is included in the $39 tier. So you can put it in anywhere and have a very popular web page and be completely fine, and they'll take care of it until, hosting costs start adding up. But we're not going to say that very loudly. So what do you get with the features of Riverside? So you do get, your recording is up to 4K video recording, and audio recording is at like a 48.4 kilohertz, which is very good quality. You can do editing. So let's take a look at editing, because we kind of figured recording is no big deal. So what it is, it's like all of the other text-based video editing, like Descript, Gling AI. There's a couple other ones I'm sure that are out there. Very similar premise. It is with this, it does it all in one studio. So after I am done with this particular live stream, it'll go through the process, and then I'll be able to go through and edit out all the ums, uhs, filler words, silent parts, especially that one part where it's trying to hurt a cat. So it takes care of all that on its own, or you can go through and manually do it yourself. And you can also set it up that you can export as a normal horizontal video or a vertical video. You can do all sorts of different things. So you can do, like I said, video editing, but with the transcript. You can also have separate tracks per speaker. So my video that you're seeing here is going to be on one track. The share screen that you see here is on its own track. If I had a guest, they'll be on their own track along with audio and video. You can also do, they have AI parts in it, so you can do like what they call magic audio. So like this fan I have behind me, you won't be able to hear it. You can't hear it now because I have the beacon mic go through and doing all the heavy lifting of the audio prior to recording. But if I didn't have that, and you'll be able to hear like other stuff in the background, you can automatically have Riverside go through and clear that out or normalize your audio. So if you had a video playing that had a higher volume, you can have that normalized with your mic volume. And same thing with your guest or any other inputs that you had. You can also set it up to, like I said, with your remove the filler words, the pauses, the silent parts, and you can also change the pacing of those cuts as well. So if you're looking to tighten up the cuts where the silent parts are, so it's like we're talking and I continue that little break there, you can pretty much have it almost zero. So it'd be like I'll be almost talking on top of myself, which I do quite a lot by myself. I don't need any extra help or AI to do that. So you can do all sorts of stuff like that. And like I said, you can do this via like Descript if you are having a recording through OBS or Meld or any other software. You can do Descript, does the same thing. Gling AI does it as well. You can also do color adjustment. So they basically say, hey, record your content or your live stream through Riverside completely. Take care of your color correction, your EQ, and you don't have to go through and use Final Cut or Adobe Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. It's all in one spot. So this is pretty much what they're setting up for people to use, is like a one-stop shop. And this is going through all their PR stuff here. So yeah, I already gone through this chat-based or text-based editing. They have the edit AI that you can say, I want this particular section as a new edit. You can use AI for that. Magic episode. automatically turns your recordings into a polished cut, ready to edit further or publish as is. You can also do magic clips, where they take segments of your video and put it in a vertical format that you can go through and fine tune or publish as is. You can also do collaboration with an editor. You can bring them in to help doing the editing. They have a mobile app, which what I am going to do, not tonight, but another week, probably either next week or the week following. I am going to do another Thursday stream of Dialed In, but I'm going to do that via the phone app, because you can use your phone with Riverside app to create a live stream or record a video, or you can have someone come in as a guest using their phone, tablet, or another device. So I'm going to do that like a week or two from now, because I'm going to do some testing just to be sure. I might just do it live. But yeah, it's with the other editing stuff, you can, like I said, remove silences, video dubbing, change out the control for each volume control for each track, auto layout switching. So like this scene here, I can switch it out automatically to go through into this, or I kind of like this format, but I can change it after the fact. So that's a nice thing that you can do. You can also share, you have custom captions. You can do AI translations to translate your video into 30 plus languages and your own voice synced lips and all. I know YouTube, you have the ability for YouTube to do that for you, but I kind of like doing it prior to uploading it to the platform. Excuse me. You can also set up get AI show notes. I personally, what I tend to do is I take the transcript of my videos and I run that through Claude to change, or not to change, but just to go through and change spelling, grammar, sentence structure, and stuff like that, and not to change my voice or conversational tone. I do not want it to write for me, just to make my transcription more readable. That's pretty much all I want it to do. And then I take the show notes from that, or make show notes from that and post it up for podcast episodes for the Maker Dad podcast, and video descriptions for the videos. What else for product? We got live streaming. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at that, because right now, if you're watching this, I am using Riverside for streaming. So hopefully it's, going good, right? It's 1080. What's up, Retro Gains? Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are you doing tonight? So yeah, you can use Riverside to stream to all the different platforms. Like I mentioned earlier, as I'm streaming to Twitch and YouTube and SharePlay currently right now. But you can also stream to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and there is a Riverside stream as well. Awesome. Well, hey, lurking is perfectly fine. We enjoy lurkers. So you can do it. This is all completely through your browser. There is no software to download. You don't have to worry about if your computer is capable enough, as long as you're able to connect to the internet. I mean, that's important, right? And you don't really need powerful internet, because you can drop your stream down to like 720. So it's okay. So yeah, you can multi-stream to everything. You can do all sorts of stuff that you can set up your brand. I forgot to do the background. I'll do that next time. But you can change out the background of the stream. Right now, it's all black. You can set up your brand colors. If you have brand colors, or you have a picture that you want to use, it's all pretty much up to you. You can use lower thirds. Have my lower third right here. You can also put in, I'll do that right now. This is basically just a default. So live with Josh comes up as a lower third. Sit there for 10 seconds and it'll automatically go away. You can do all your chats in one place. Um, Same thing. So it's pretty much what you would think with a live streaming. It is basically it does everything that you would normally would think a live streaming service can provide. Moving into hosting. Hosting is something that has been uh, relatively recent within the past, I want to say 6 months or so that Riverside has done this. They started this out because normally what you would do is you'll go to a company called like Captivate or Fireside or Transistor or Buzzsprout or any of those names that you can think of that are you would synonymous for podcast episode hosting. You can do that within Riverside itself. Um, if you make your podcast within Riverside, it is easy as well to do the hosting. It's all on one platform. But it is pretty much easy. It is, if you have dealt with any setting up a podcast in any of these hosting companies, it is the exact same thing. You provide the name of your podcast, your cover art, is it, and the description, and then that's pretty much it. If you're moving a podcast to Riverside, it's the same thing. You get your RSS feed from your old host, give it to Riverside. Riverside will then say, okay, then what you want to do is give the new RSS feed from Riverside to your old host so they can set up a redirect. And then your episodes going forward are becoming from Riverside, not your old hosting. And if you're lost, that's okay. I have video coming up soon explaining all that. But this also helps, with everything that you get analytics that you typically would get. It automatically posts to the podcast distribution platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You can set it up for going to YouTube and other podcast networks as well. And we already gone through the pricing. So that is pretty much it for getting what Riverside is all about. If you want to know how to get started, well, all you would have to do is click on Start for Free. And of course, it doesn't work with Safari. You have to use Chrome or Edge. So unfortunately, I did ask them because I want to remember that they said that you'll be able to go into your dashboard via Safari, but I have not heard back yet. So there is that. I hope that it gets changed because, there are other browsers besides Chrome. There's Safari, there's Firefox, but yeah. Trying to think of anything else. If you guys have any questions or during the live feed or live stream here, go ahead, post them in chat. Publish, yeah. This will help. So you got your Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And again, there with the analytics. And currently it is, I know a lot of people would harp on that have used this before. The analytics is not as, I don't want to be disparaging. It is not as in depth as, let's say, other companies like Transistor or Captivate, because they have pretty much just started, but what they have done so far has been a lot of work, and they have made a lot of improvements. So I'll give them that, and it can only get better as time continues on. Because this is a new thing that they've got started. I totally forgot. They have started a, because like I mentioned at the beginning, the getting as a competitor to places like Substack. So they have set up a where you can create your newsletter within your Riverside account. So if you haven't heard of Substack, Substack is basically a newsletter social network pretty much now. That's what they're gearing themselves forward or toward. They want to be a little bit of everything. They do podcast hosting, the newsletter, website, video hosting. It's pretty much what Riverside is gearing themselves toward as well. And that's pretty much what, like I said at the beginning, this is what all these companies are going forward. So you can set up your newsletter if you have a newsletter or you want to get started with one. It's the same thing if you have your podcast through Riverside. You can have it go through in your transcript and create a newsletter post automatically. And of course, it's good idea to read through what the AI has created for you, because AI always makes mistakes. It's not perfect. Far from it. So you can set that up. And if it looks good, go ahead and hit publish and send it out to your subscribers, your newsletter subscribers, I should say. And of course, you get a website for your newsletter. You also get a website for your podcast episodes. And you get your analytics, like your open rates, how many subscribers you get or you have. And yeah. And again, those analytics will continue to improve as time continues on. I want to say, is there anything else besides the newsletter? There is, like I said, with the website. Take a look at the social scheduling. So this is new too. It is a scheduler that you can set up for posting your social media post to go out on certain days, or scheduling on certain days. For like your podcast episode is scheduled on like next Tuesday, it'll show up there. You can also set up your descriptions or what you want to have written in your post that can be automatically fed as well. Like I said, schedule and publish your content to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, and Facebook. So pretty much the FANG networks. And then there's a lot of places you can do this kind of stuff as well to your social network content calendar. This continues to bring everything into a one-stop shop. So that's pretty much what Riverside is, what is available for you, and the cost and benefits for that. Like I mentioned at the beginning, for myself, I have used Riverside previously, many times in the past. It's a great service. I myself have had not any problems that I've encountered. I am going through a 30-day trial, as it were, paid trial, as just to see how my workflow is going to go through, if it's going to be a benefit to myself. And closer to the end of these 30 days, I'll make a determination of saying, do I want to continue with Riverside or go back to what I was doing and just piecemealing certain things here and there. But there's a couple different things that I'll look into. I have had an issue with trying out their AI stuff. I mean, it's just there. It's to play around with. Why not? I did my live stream last night where I was doing looking through SharePlay's dashboard. You can see it on the MakerDad Tech YouTube channel. It is the thumbnail. I had Riverside AI make it for me. I'm not happy doing it. because I like to do my own, but it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm testing out the service and seeing what it's capable of. Let's go ahead and just, see what it's capable of. So I liked the version that it came up with. I wish there were some different changes, but for AI created thumbnail, it's okay. For me personally, I would like to do it myself, but again, just testing things out. There is a couple other things. I had AI, it's AI write the description for me. It was okay. Like I said, I typically would have gone through the transcript and have Claude do that for me. It does a much better job, in my personal opinion. It gets to the point and it keeps my conversational tone, makes the transcript more readable and in different formats I'd like it to post in. I did have some trouble when I asked it to create a title that is less than 50 characters, because on YouTube, if you have a title that is more than 50 characters, you get that little cutoff end that, sometimes be like, and this secret, okay, what it is, I don't want to hover over it because I'm lazy, I'm scrolling through, just tell me what it was. So you want to keep your titles within under 50 characters. It had trouble doing that. It kept giving me different versions of a list of titles. I'm like, no, give me title for this video that is less than 50 characters. Okay, here you go. No, that's not what I asked for. That's not what you give. So that was just a couple different pain points that I'm sure they're trying to get through things. Like I said, Riverside may not be for you, may not be for everybody, but for a certain segment of the people that could be watching this, it could be for them. But yeah, and if you're watching this after the fact, if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down in the comments down below on YouTube. I'll definitely love to hear your thoughts. I do have a website at themakeردad.com, and we have the links for our Discord. I have the podcast links and all sorts of stuff like that as well. So I'm going to be wrapping this up. If you liked what you saw, please do like Retro Gains did and follow me everywhere. That's the best way you can keep track of what I'm doing, because not even I keep track of what I'm doing. I get lost. But I had a great time. I hope you had a great time as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night and later, taters.